We all ask ourselves the question, is there someone out there that was created for me? Is there a perfect match out there? And when will I meet this person and have a fulfilling relationship? On a spiritual level, this is what the soulmate definition is. Before you were born, your person was created, the other half of your soul, so to speak. And in the spiritual community, a soulmate may not take on the aesthetic that you expect. They usually have jagged edges and you won't automatically merge together. And this balance of incompatibility actually helps to grow the relationship. So let's dive into the signs that you have met your soulmate. Here we go. They immediately calm your anxiety. You could say that this person feels like home. You can't wait to go back into their arms and feel that sense of comfort. You don't need to say anything and you could just easily sit in silence, just existing in their presence, and your stresses would wash away. You complete each other. Now, this doesn't mean that the other person is going to remove all of your problems. It just means that you guys have a balance of harmony. And this is where those jagged edges come into play. You may be slightly outgoing and the other person is very reserved and shy. Even though it doesn't sound like this is a perfect match, it offers both sides of harmony, a perfect yin and yang match, and this is a soulmate relationship. You would do it all over again. This could be that if you guys got the chance to marry each other again, you would definitely both say yes. Or if you had the chance to meet each other for the very first time again, you would both agree that you would pick the other person and continue this relationship. Now, not only do you feel comfortable with this person, but despite any differences or arguments and fallouts that you guys have had over the years, you just know that this person is your person and you feel tremendous pride having them in your life. You are able to apologize. Fights happen in relationships, but what determines a healthy relationship is how you fight and what happens immediately after that fight. It doesn't matter what the reason for the argument was, you both need to get that relationship back on track as soon as possible, and that will involve some form of an apology. If you are both able to admit that you were at fault, and you can both apologize for your words and your actions and behavior during that argument, and you are willing to actively change your behavior so that it does not happen again, this is soulmate relationship behavior. There is no threatening behavior in the relationship. Let me clarify, you are allowed to feel anger in a relationship. Anger is not a bad emotion. We all feel it from time to time and it's ingrained into our psyche for a reason. However, what is not okay is if the other person uses threatening words when someone feels angry. For example, if someone threatens to break up, threatens to get a divorce, threatens to kick someone out, or threatens to withhold sex, this is a sign that you are punishing the other person and it's not a sign of soulmate behavior. You respect each other's opinions. Now, we know for sure that soulmates are kind of polar opposites to each other. And if this is the case in your relationship, there will be things that your partner does that possibly bothered you at the start of the relationship. Maybe you struggle to feel that sense of compatibility because you were both completely different. If this is the case and you have managed to work through this and that incompatibility is no longer an issue, then it's a sign that this is your soulmate. You are both able to agree or agree to disagree on a wide range of topics, and you don't punish each other for being different. You can listen to them, even if they are explaining something that you have no interest in. You are able to respect each other's interests. And if you are not able to join in for something, the other person doesn't feel offended. For example, if your partner said to you, babes, I have no interest in this music at all, so I'm not going to go to that gig with you. Is that okay? And the other person's like, yeah, that's cool. There is no jealousy. You understand that there may be people out there in the world that will be talking to your partner that may be more attractive than you, but that does not make you feel jealous. You are both secure in the relationship and you have a huge amount of trust. You respect your partner's need for independence and freedom away from the relationship, and you are both able to easily come back together again without any insecurities or jealous feelings cropping up. You are not afraid of any conversation topics. A lot of partners will admit that there are certain things that they don't want to talk about because it could bring up an argument and possibly even a breakup, and that is not good. But in the case of soulmates, no conversation topic feels out of bounds. Now let's be real, there will be conversational topics that won't be easy to talk about and they won't be pleasant. However, on a soulmate basis, you are able to make uncomfortable decisions and talk about uncomfortable things together because you know the outcome is worth it. Now, this may mean that you have to sit down with your partner and pull them up for maybe poor behavior, but you are both able to do this from a place of respect and honesty, making your partner feel comfortable and secure as well when you're telling them off. You enjoy your alone time. Having your independence and alone time is so important in a relationship. Many people are under the unhealthy impression that if you are in a relationship, you have to spend every single minute of the day together. This is far from the truth. So far, in fact, that some of the most healthiest couples don't spend any of their time together at the weekend. They maybe live in the same house but have separate bedrooms. Now, if you don't feel uncomfortable for your partner to have their alone time and for you to have yours, it's a great sign. This also includes not feeling insecure if your partner has to cancel date night for an unexpected reason. You share the same life goals. Life goals look different for every couple bubble, but for you, if you are able to say that we are working towards this and then we're going to achieve this thing, this is your sign. Now, it's not always about those physical things such as buying a house or paying off a mortgage. It could be that you both want to complete emotional therapy together. You both want to grow into the most healthiest versions of yourselves, and you are both able to share the exact same goal from a self-fulfilling space. You work with each other. Now, I don't mean that you guys physically have a career together, but I mean you make it work despite the flaws and differences. You are aware of where your partner is in their life. You know what their learning style is and how they cope with life's ups and downs. And you are able to slot in and pick up the slack if needed. For example, if your partner had, let's say, extreme ADHD, you would start to research the traits and behaviors this person would elicit so that you can kind of fill in those cracks and help him with his life, and he would do the same for you. You met at the right time. Sometimes the right time may feel like the wrong time, but the reason was you guys met at that specific moment in your life to spur on maybe self-healing and self-growth. Timing is everything with soulmates. Maybe you were so set on moving away that you bought some plane tickets, you packed up your stuff, and then something out of your control changed those plans. And then days later, you meet your soulmate. That is the fact of your soulmate arrival. And that exact example actually happened to me so long living in Bali. They seemed familiar. When you first met this person, you thought that you knew them from somewhere, but after lots of mental energy, you realized you've never seen them before and they don't look like anyone you've ever met. Now, this is a sign of soulmate attraction. Their happiness is more important than your own. Stay with me, I'm not saying that you should cast aside your own happiness because in a loving relationship, if the other person wants to make you happy and you are focusing on making them happy, well, overall, you are both looking out for each other's happiness. Now, there will be moments where you both have to agree to compromise on a lot of things, and this compromise is what maintains that relationship happiness. You feel obliged to make them happy and go out of your way to give them selfless acts of love. You feel it. You can kind of feel it in your gut that you have found your soulmate. It's a feeling that gives you some certainty. Maybe on the exterior, there's a couple of things you need to work through. Maybe you have extreme incompatibilities. However, the baseline is if you both want to make each other happy and have a healthy relationship together, and you are willing to support one another, then there is nothing more that you could wish for. You kept bumping into them. When you first meet your soulmate, you will notice you kept bumping into each other before you agreed to go on a date. This is the universe forcing you guys to come together, but you are both so distracted to notice you keep walking past each other. So if you have experienced this with your person, well, that is your sign that this was your soulmate and the universe trying to bring you both together.